Welcome into our BMW Championship show here on Facebook Live. I'm Teryn Schaefer here with Brian Katrek. Brian, this is an exciting day. We've got some big news coming out of Tiger Woods camp. And of course, we're looking at another leg here in the FedExCup playoffs.
And a quick turnaround also. Your planned Monday finish, your planned Thursday start. Players trying to get over to Indianapolis as fast as they can, get as many looks at Crooked Stick as they can. They've only played it in the playoff rotation one other time, so there's a lot going on for these guys.
A lot going on. I saw them, hanging out with the Indianapolis Colts at the Indianapolis Speedway. Some played at IU, little Hoosier basketball last night at the Hoosier Gym, so they've been all over the place.
Last time we were in Indianapolis, I made the trip and got to take a couple of laps around the Speedway, and that was the highlight for me as a race fan.
That's pretty cool. Well, someone also making that quick turnaround, coming off of a victory, Rory McIlroy, who just won last week at the Deutsche Bank Championship. A fantastic win for him, for his season, and a fantastic win for golf, basically.
A big come from behind for Rory, and all eyes were on that putting stroke coming into the week. He had just changed instructors, he had just changed putters, he had just changed brand of putters. None of that adds up to, yeah, we're going to storm from 6 shots back and get a victory, but that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, the little battle between him and Paul Casey there at the end, that bunker shot on 18 was just gorgeous. It was fabulous.
Had to fly it most of the way up there. Didn't have the option to play that low. Indeed it was. And then no matter what you're doing with your putter, you're not going to miss too many of those.
No, not at all. But he was making a lot more this past week, which is, the key to his win. And, of course, that bumps him right up into the top 5 in the FedExCup standings. There he is now at 4.
He did have a worldwide win. You don't go all the way back to Wells Fargo for his last victory. That was his last PGA Tour victory, but he won in May at the Irish Open, which he is the host of. So there's a lot of pressure on him on Rory there. Plus, there's this other international competition coming up, and Rory is obviously peaking right now.
Yes, that other international competition, of course, the Ryder Cup. But those FedEx Cup standings, that top 6 there is just stacked. It's setting us up for an awesome finish here in the FedEx Cup playoffs. It's going to be fun.
Sorry about that, Teryn. I'm just excited, and so are they. My favorite part of it is the fact that the players know it. Dustin Johnson is talking about getting into that top 5, because once you get into the top 5, then you have the opportunity to win it all. It doesn't matter what anybody else does. They know it, and they're grinding about it right now.
Yeah, they control their own destiny when they're in that top 5. But we have some Facebook questions coming in from you guys. Someone wants to know, what is the most exciting hole at Crooked Stick?
Well, in my opinion, my favorite hole is the par 5 15th at Crooked Stick. It is reachable at times, and the green complex is what makes it the most exciting. It's 50 yards deep. Anything can happen. You can make a 2. You can also make a 6 or a 7. Anytime you've got that kind of difference in potential scoring, you got a pretty exciting hole. Take a closer look at it. Players obviously could be tempted to cut the corner down that left-hand side. It's a big carry to take it all the way down that bunker, 300 plus if you want to carry it all the way over that bunker, and obviously some players will. But the key here is going to be when you get up to this green, if somehow you were able to get in this area on the front of the green right in there, and you see the flagstick back in this area here, then you've got yourself some trouble. You've got, we might even see some wedges. That bunker, middle left, that's not a great...
Deep? It's pretty deep, huh?
You can see people down there, Teryn. You can see people, but it's not easy to get out of. You can see how it's easy to get trapped down on that left-hand side. Anything left is usually a bit of trouble here at 15.
I know a lot of people say it is the best par 5 on the course, but let's take a look at the course as a whole. Crooked Stick, it's in Carmel, Indiana, just right outside the Indianapolis area. It's a par 72, 7,500 yards, and this is one of Pete Dye's most prominent courses. When he first got started back in 1964, it was built, and it's just a typical Pete Dye layout, and they've done some renovations to it since we last saw it in 2012.
It is a beast length, 7,500 yards, even though it's a par 72. That is very long. Last time we were here, it played all of it because it was so wet. And one of the things about Pete Dye layouts, and we see it year in and year out at the stadium course at the Players Championship, they are not as penal as they appear to be. Pete Dye is a master of deception. He shows you a lot of trouble, but the landing area is a lot wider than it winds up looking. As soon as you can get a comfort level on Pete Dye courses, you wind up playing well, but he makes it very hard to be comfortable.
Yeah, and you know who is comfortable on this course? Rory McIlroy, because he won it back in 2012 after he had won the Deutsche Bank Championship as well. So kind of setting us up for an interesting storyline possibly this week. But we have some people wanting to know who your pick is this week. Collins wants to know who's going to win the BMW Championship.
Well, Collins, write this down. Okay, this is just between. Can this just be between the two of us?
I guess if you want it to be.
Okay, just between me and you. Jason Day. Jason Day. I love Jason Day. Anytime you can get Jason Day healthy and focused, and he had some very understandable off-golf course distractions, his family involved in a car accident last week, everybody's fine. And once you get an opportunity to turn the page like Jason Day can now, I think he's going to be fine. Spends a lot of time on these types of grasses that he's going to see. And if it gets wet again, this long golf course, it really starts to eliminate a lot of the shorter hitters, and Jason Day is one of the longest out there.
And, you know, he was my pick to win the entire FedExCup, and now he's seeing these guys, you know, come out here and Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy win it. You know he's got to say, hey, I've got to win this one this week.
I think it's about time for Jason Day. #1 player in the world and really enjoying it. He's really embraced that ranking. I think this is his week.
Yes, bring it home, Day. That's what Bryce is saying on Facebook.
Yeah.
Bring it home.
We'll write it down because again, I'm not lost. I'm not missed a pick in 17 years.
Is he your pick to win the entire FedExCup?
I made that up, just so you know.
I know. That's why I just kept talking.
Yeah, I think so, because I think obviously it makes sense. Anybody that wins this week has got a leg up. You're going straight into East Lake. Now, there is a week off, but you're going right into the biggest event of the season for these guys with regard to FedExCup points. I think the guy that wins last has the most momentum. He's going to have the most comfort. You're going to change grass surfaces completely, going from up in Indianapolis down to a Bermuda golf course at East Lake. However, the guy that's going to win this one's going to take a bunch of confidence. I like whoever wins this week, which means I like Jason Day.
Momentum is key in the playoffs, and we love that you guys are submitting your Facebook questions and comments to us. And of course, everyone is asking about Tiger. Alan Draper in particular, he wants to know about Tiger's return, his big announcement today that he might be coming back, here in October. So what do you think about this?
Well, obviously it's very exciting when you get a guy that was the game's greatest star during his time. He was the most recognizable athlete in the world at his time. Most sports aren't even lucky enough to have that person. I know that Tiger has been getting to the point where he can work on it. If you follow what he's told us all summer long, he just hasn't been close enough to get tournament prepared. Obviously, he feels like he can. Interesting right now, he couldn't play this week if he wanted to, couldn't play next week if he wanted to, doesn't have enough points.
Yep.
So he's going to get into the first event that he can get into, and clearly it'll be very exciting to see him back.
I think it's going to be really exciting. You know, he has 3 events that he's keen in on, and of course one of them is his event that he hosts through the Tiger Woods Foundation, the Hero World Challenge. So I think that's interesting. You can tell, that he wants to come back for his big event.
Just 18 players in that field, Teryn, as you know, and they take the top 14 players from the World Golf Rankings. They send out the invitations, and there are 4 sponsors exemptions. Pretty good chance Tiger's going to get a sponsor exemption if he needs it.
I think he could. But we also have another Facebook topic coming in. Jack Saunders wants to know, what are your thoughts on Tony Finau? He's had a great showing in the playoffs so far.
I love Tony Finau. He's got all the skills and you just can't teach length. But Tony Finau's got a great touch around the greens also. You forget how young he is.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the big break just a couple of years ago.
Him and his brother.
And now he's out there contending in major championships. So Tony Finau is starting to learn how championship golf works. It's not just about hitting all the shots, which he has. It's about being able to put them together, get over the bad ones. He's had enough good ones and enough bad ones. He's a star in the making.
Yeah, we talk about the athletes that are out there. He is definitely one of those athletes. He has even, professional athletes, cousins and his family, some that play football. He looks like a basketball player. I mean, it's one of those guys, like a Dustin Johnson that just, has that athletic stature.
Without question. And you have to, I think the old adage is that you have to lose some of these big events before you can win them. And Tony has been knocking on the door now. And I think he's learned what it is he's got to go work on. He's learned what the 6-iron under pressure feels like compared to the 6-iron on the driving range. That feels like, and pressure at this stage is different than pressure at other stages. And he's definitely, it's been fun watching him learn.
Yes, and he got his first win on the PGA Tour this year too. So kind of breaking through there for Tony. But we appreciate you guys for chiming in today on our BMW Championship preview show here on Facebook Live. And guess what? You can check out all of the action starting on Thursday on PGA Tour Live. That kicks off at 10 a.m. and Golf Channel's coverage kicks off at 3 p.m. on Thursday. So make sure and head over to the PGA Tour Live app to check it out, because Brian Katrek will be on there. I'll be chiming in every now and then, doing some bubble updates.
You won't want to miss it.
No, you won't want to miss it. Got some great featured groups. So head over to PGAtour.com and check it out.